This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Bayshore Community Center on top of what would be the J.D. MacArthur Arena for the continuation of the Heritage Classic Minor Lacrosse Tournament here in Owen Sound. Six Nations Lacrosse Club, they take on the Huntsville Hawks in the U15 final, the penultimate, the co-main event of the evening. Six Nations, you see there in purple. Them and Huntsville were both 3-0-1 on their trek to this final. The tie coming against one another in their last games of the round robin. 4-4 tie was that game between Six Nations and Huntsville. Both of them obviously being able to go 3-0 other than that. You also see their Six Nations beat Owen Sound 5-3 to get themselves to this final. While Huntsville did not match up against the North Stars until earlier this morning in the semifinals, which they obviously won, as you see there, 5-1 over the North Stars to get themselves to this final here today. I will also mention myself, Spencer Byers. Alongside me, Steve McCarthy, bringing you the finals all day. As I mentioned to the great Mark Perry, our producer here today for all the sports coverage on Rogers TV, I love the Six Nations purple. Purple is a color that I think is underused in a lot of jersey making. And it is a nice color, especially with the deep version that Six Nations is using today. Starting in net there for Six Nations, looks to be Cameron McNaughton. And then on the Huntsville side, it looks to be Owen Russell for Huntsville. As Steve makes his way back up from the photocopier to make sure we have a chance to have some rosters that I can possibly read, because they're not in numerical order, so when I have to look at the double-sided sheet, I get a little lost, and that's when I just start saying team names. I'll be honest. And the face-off will now get ready here between Six Nations and Huntsville. Both these two teams are the only denominations in a final for either of these two programs. So big game here between the two sides as the face-off is tied up and thrown back into the Huntsville end, and it is now retrieved by Huntsville. So look at the first rush of the game. Looking to fire. That one will scoot wide of McNaughton. Now ball being fought for and taken there by Huntsville. Or pardon me, there by Six Nations. That ball gets bounced out of the stick of Colton Johnson. Colton Johnson now still fighting for it. And the whistle's going to go. And again, we've seen the physicality ramp up from the U9 to the U11 to the U13s. We're now at the U15 level, so you got to assume that the physicality is going to be on full display here between these basically all high school students. Played down into the middle, wide open, shot and scores! Huntsville get themselves on the board. Oren French with the marker.
Yeah, just a nice little cut. You got in behind the defender, number 93, and quick fake. It looked like he might have went 5-hole there on McNaughton, but left all alone. No, might have snuck it in short side, but nonetheless, big start for Huntsville.
Great job there beating the big Cameron McNaughton in net for Six Nations. Face-off won by Huntsville, but they immediately lose it. Six Nations trying to get a hold of it. They do. Quickly passed up, but just misses its intended target. That ball being battled for there in the corner. As that was Jared Bomberry who tried to get away and will keep possession now. Bomberry. That's down into the corner spot. They'll rotate around. Looking to fire there. They played into the middle. It goes right through his stick and it's taken away. And away will go Huntsville. It may be a break. It is a break. Trying to wiggle around. That shot scores! Owen Prentice makes it 2-0 Huntsville.
Well, great effort in transition, and looked like the second defender was going to get back in time to clip the stick, and we'll see here in the replay that number 77 kind of gave up on it. 66, valiant effort. He got in behind, but a quick shot just beat McNaughton between the legs, and we've got a goaltending change already.
Surprising, as McNaughton will take his seat only about 3 minutes into this game, and now in will be Howard Hill. Now, this is the first level we've seen two goalies dressed on both sides, Steve, so it's really the only first chance we've had of only a goalie change being made, but, I'd say a surprising move maybe here very early in this game, and now Six Nations go the other way. There's going to be a minor called against Huntsville. That ball goes behind the intended target.
Again, it looks like it'll be a high stick, but again, I don't know that it was...
Played across, what a shot, scores!
And the player that was had drawn the delayed penalty made sure that he found the back of the net.
And Steve, I don't see a 15, so I have to assume that it's the one guy I don't have a number for, which is Joshua Zabanovich.
Yeah, although he is on the game sheet twice, so he's right below it.
I actually lied. I did finally find him. It is actually Triton McNaughton.
Oh, well, the McNaughtons have been very prevalent in this game so far.
For positive and negative, that's a good save there. And we'll mention that we've gone to the big sticks in the last game, so we're staying with the big sticks here in the U15 level, but the backup goalie there for Huntsville uses the NLL small stick. So again, just a preference there for the backup netminder of the Hawks. Trying to make their way around to the white shirts. That shot from a little bit farther out, that's a good save there from a sprawling Hill.
Yeah, that's a tough shot to handle, an underhand just from outside the shooting line there, and he shut the door there, and Six Nations can breathe a little sigh of relief knowing they get a save.
That ball passed out there. As again, you might see a little bit more of offense versus defense denomination here at the U15 level, as that shot clock is going to expire, and possession will go the other way. Quickly up the floor will go the white shirts.
Yeah, you'll certainly see more developed skills.
Does that one go?
No.
What a save there by a sprawling Howard Hill, just able to keep out the Braden Higgs opportunity. That ball gets fired into the netting, so again, possession quickly back to the white shirts.
Yeah, you've got to go up and down the sides of the arena here. You can't try to bomb it up the middle or you'll hit the score clock and Jumbotron.
Which just have nets around it for obvious reasons. That shot right into the net there, another good save. Got to be honest though, Steve, both Six Nations netminders don't seem to have a lot of confidence with that big stick in between their legs. They all seem to be kind of spinning back to behind themselves once they make a save. That pass right into the middle. That shot just wide as tumbling as they fired.
Both teams have been pretty lax in transition, especially in defending, especially in transition, allowing guys in behind. And we'll see what team can kind of fix up their defensive play here earlier on.
Trying to get around the top there is Triton McNaughton, who's wearing the Field Lacrosse outward helmet, pardon me. Is McNaughton shot, that one saved by Russell. Possession back to Six Nations. They definitely seemingly are dominating ball possession early in this game. It's just they can't seem to get a real good opportunity. Or something through Russell. That ball just misses everybody and will bounce up and into a stick of a white shirt, and away they're gonna go. As Jared Allen now trying to fight for that one, as it will scoot out into the Six Nations bench.
It looked like it's batted out by Six Nations, so Huntsville will gain possession. Number 19, Allen there, he looked like he had a pretty good set of legs on him, so we'll see how active he is in transition.
A possession change there, staying with Huntsville off the Six Nations foul. As Sage Lightis gives it off. Back for Sage. One more time with the pass to the parcel there. It's just finding their way around. Huntsville now trying to get it back door, and they step in. Just not able to fire there was Caden Hamilton.
Yeah, Huntsville is going to have to be real active on offense, both on and off ball with quick passes and moving their feet. They're a lot smaller than the Six Nations squad, so they won't be bullying their way into the zone.
Nice move there by Six Nations. They almost lose possession. That shot from a mile away just goes high in the net. It was a rocket there from Theodore Jamieson. Giving off there as Huntsville are getting harassed there deep in the zone. Something you see a lot from the older Six Nations groups is they normally like to try to press up the floor. Played down low now with the problem with that shot. Good save there by Howard Hill.
But again, just another leaky defensive play in transition. Huntsville almost took advantage again.
When you press up high, Steve, you normally can get caught from behind because you're so far forward, you don't really look behind you, and that happened again against Six Nations there as they now have possession in the offensive zone. 6 seconds to work on the shot clock. They're gonna have to fire here. They do, kind of. It skips over. What a chance! Great save there by Russell. Just with the shot clock reset. No, they're gonna say that. I guess he touched it inside the restricted area and then touched it again, I assume was the call, Steve?
I think he actually scooped the ball out of the crease, even though it was bouncing. You can't reach in and break the plane of that cylinder to grab a loose ball.
Huntsville passes it over. Nice spin there by the white shirts. That shot blocked before it ever gets anywhere near the net. Now away will come Six Nations. Colton Johnson now the other way. Lots of the same names, so I'll do my best to differentiate the siblings or relations or just commonalities, as the purple shirts will now pass that one down to the bumper. Trying to make a nice move, nice shot. That one just goes wide there for Colton Johnson. As now Huntsville make their way up the floor. Aiden Creamer now will hand it off, and he'll go off for the change. Huntsville now going to have to fire here. They only have a little bit of time left, and I think Six Nations knows that that ball's fired into the corner, and that goes off the helmet, but it will go the other way because of it.
Really slow developing offense again with a late change coming, and yeah, they're going to need to get in sync to have more opportunities on offenses. Huntsville can't rely just on the transition game.
And now in comes Six Nations. Surprised he didn't pass it. He's got a wide open teammate there. Is it a fake? It is a fake. I thought he also had it. Nice pass and scores! Six Nations fooling everybody, including me, and they make it 2-2 as Connor, oh pardon me,
number 15 is
grabbing the wrong sheet, as it is Triton McNaughton with his second of the game. That's a nice shot there by the face-off taker as he goes to take the next draw here with 3:50 left in this first frame. You can tell very talented is Triton McNaughton, even with the field helmet. That ball being fought for. It looks like it's going to come loose, and Six Nations will keep it.
Again, way in behind the Huntsville defense. They'd be ball watching and not looking at their defensive responsibilities, but they weren't able to hook up with the pass.
Hudson Francis now will pass it across. That's now down low again. As you mentioned, Steve, the lack of defensive coverage in the back has been evident on both sides, as both teams have had really good opportunities trying to get the deep pass there.
And
a minor going against Huntsville, it looks like.
I'm not sure what this is. There was a lot of complaints coming from number 55, but
nice move
he's
by.
He's about 6'6", so I don't know. He could have been high stick by the 5'6" player, but.
And they're sending somebody off the Huntsville bench. They knew exactly who they were sending. And it looks to be Aiden Creamer.
Well,
actually, pardon me, that's Kremer.
This is almost a physical impossibility to get a high sticking call when you're a foot shorter, but unless his stick grazed the helmet at some point.
Well, maybe we'll get a chance to see that on the replay as we get closer and closer to the 3-minute intermission between these two sides. I'm not sure what we're waiting for now.
It didn't seem to be a call coming until the Six Nations player turned to the referee in protest, and all of a sudden the arm went up. So
sometimes the players can influence the referee's decisions, as now, again, they have that player in behind the net, kind of like the field lacrosse style. That shot scores! Colton Johnson makes it 3-2, and I have to say, Steve, as I was making my way back up to the booth after grabbing some more water, because, man, do I drink a lot when I commentate, I saw a lot of Rebel and Chief memorabilia of apparel, so I know Six Nations travels well. They travel well at all levels, and they're here tonight. Heard a couple of horns there after the Johnson goal.
Yeah, no doubt. They certainly do support their lacrosse at home and away. And again, the Huntsville won't want to take a lot of penalties today because they're going to facing some guys on the Six Nations squad that can shoot a ball.
Back down low again, a leaky exchange there, but a good save by Owen Russell. Pass up to the top, thought about firing, but immediately lost it as he went to fire. Ball now loose, and a big hit there. That will be a possession change against Six Nations and Triton Russell. Huntsville now making their way up the floor, again getting high pressure here from the Six Nations Lacrosse Club.
Yeah, they've really recognized that they don't seem to be very well in sync offensively here, and they're taking advantage by creating a lot of one-on-one defensive challenges.
Played that one down. Now that pass across, somebody wide open because of the double on the ball, but can't find that pass, as now Six Nations may have the last opportunity of this first period.
Yeah, and here we go again, just a leaky defensive effort, but a great close here.
That ball passed across, it misses, stepped in as that happens, but that will be the first period. 3-2 in favor of Six Nations. They were down 2-0. They have a 3-goal swing in their favor, and they're now up by 1. And Steve, now we get a chance to ask you a question that I'm actually curious about, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to answer it. I'll say, well, cause there may not be an answer is kind of my point to this, but what is the difference between wearing like a hockey helmet and a field lacrosse helmet for a box lacrosse style?
Well, in this day and age, quite frankly, there probably isn't much. I mean, a field lacrosse helmet, you know, obviously it's played outdoors for the most part, and the helmet has a visor which would help with any kind of where the sun may come into play, whether it be glare or just having to face into the sun, depending on what direction you're going on a certain quarter or half. But they're so lightweight these days, there wouldn't be any kind of issue with the added weight one way or the other. The field helmets are extremely lightweight now, as opposed to even 10 years ago. So for some of the kids that spend $350 or so on a custom field helmet, they may feel they're obliged to wear it in both.
I mean, fair point. Because again, not a lot of the guys or girls have the field lacrosse helmets. And I know that the difference for the girls would be that the field lacrosse is no contact for the girls. Unlike, obviously, if they play box, there's always contact. So I know they probably have to wear a hockey helmet. And again, I think that also adds, though, Steve, to the probably enough when you spend the money on a hockey helmet, why buy, a lacrosse helmet?
Well, again, in this day and age, you can spend a lot of money on a hockey helmet too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, although there's probably far less expensive options with a true hockey helmet and a lacrosse cage, because it's almost up in the $200 range to buy a lower-end hockey helmet with an approved CLA lacrosse cage. So, yeah, it can be an expensive sport when you start breaking shafts and breaking heads and wanting to have a protective helmet. So, anyways, they all look like they're nicely outfitted out here today, and most of them can thank their fathers here on Father's Day for making sure that they have all the appropriate equipment and get transportation to and from their games or practices. And no doubt most of these young men and women are quite appreciative.
That is for sure. The second period is about to get underway between Six Nations and Huntsville. Face-off is won by Six Nations. As now away they come. Six Nations right down the gut, wide open. That shot, good save there.
Yeah, if they would have made one more pass, they had the other crease wide open. A quick stick might have seen them have an opportunity at an empty net, but
again,
good save by the Huntsville goaltender.
Quickly in transition, both teams, as you mentioned, Steve, are lackadaisical in transition. That continues in the start of the second period. And a high stick going against Six Nations now. Chancellor to fire anyway. That shot goes wide. And now we'll get the first power play for Huntsville.
Yeah, Huntsville hasn't had a lot on the go 5-on-5 offensively, so we'll see what they have now here in 5-on-4 situation.
Calder Anderson will sit for 2 or less with the high sticking infraction. And there's the whistle, so here we go. Played around the top. Played around the bottom now, played into the middle. Both teams now trying to use that field lacrosse style, as you mentioned with the Junior Bees at one point with a visiting team. I can't remember who it was, but that's normally a field lacrosse strategy, putting a person behind the net. Is that shot low, score!
And that was an absolute bomb by number 8. Not quite sure who we got here, but Braden Higgs. I mean, he unloaded from the top there with an underhand. And I think it caught part of the goalie, but there was no stop in that one. That was a rip and found its way right through the goaltender. So
not only that, Steve, it's kind of like a football throw. When you get a chance to go take 1, 2, 3 steps into it, that ball is going to zip out of your hand or your stick in this example.
He had the little crow hop there, and he got all his leverage behind that, and as a result, we're all tied up at 3.
And now that ball's stolen away by Huntsville. Six Nations thought they still had a possession of it for a second. On the net, they're going to go. Surprised you don't see anyone try the lacrosse goal in lacrosse. Try to go around the net and try to jump and see if they can scoot it over the top shoulder of the netminder while they're running around. That shot low, nice save there as the whistle's going to go. And who's getting sent? It's going to be a Six Nations player, I assume, for high sticking again. We'll see if that is the infraction.
I think we got a hold, and again, it was, I didn't think it was an obvious hold, but again, unless he tried to put the grab on the guy coming around the pick.
And now Huntsville will go back on the power play after getting the last one. And it is a holding minor, as you said there, Steve, as Huntsville 1 for 1 in the power play, looking to go 2 for 2. Back around the net they go. And across the top, Higgs again. That one just wide. And will scoot all the way down. And that will be a shot clock violation. Just gonna have to bat it, and it will be Six Nations possession deep inside the Huntsville end. As Colton Johnson up, put that one down low. That shot, good save.
Again, he had a guy wide open on the other crease, and again, nobody's really paying a lot of attention to him. He is on the wrong side, but he has already scored 2 goals, so I wouldn't put anything past him.
As I will also mention, there's 2 Johnsons, there's 2 McNaughtons on this Six Nations side, so I will try to do my best to differentiate Talon Johnson and Colton Johnson, who are both on the floor there in that moment. That pass across, scores! I thought? No, pardon me.
I don't know if he called him in the crease, and again, I'm not quite certain how he can make a call in the crease from that far away as a referee.
Pass in the middle now. There's the open. Tried to get it there to Triton McNaughton, but now the other way they go. A little too overzealous in the PK, where Six Nations breakaway for Huntsville scores! That one for sure went in, as that is Higgs with his second straight and second of the game, and both on the power play.
Yeah, this one not a traditional power play goal, but an outstanding effort in transition. A good heads-up play by the original guy to pick up the loose ball, and Six Nations are all caught deep. Higgs has a 120-foot breakaway, and again, just off the bar and in. Goaltender played it pretty well. Didn't give him a lot to shoot at, but as you can see here, he just arcs his way towards the net, bangs it off the post, and gets the bounce, and it goes in.
You also got to be surprised there, Steve. You usually talk about on the penalty kill, you want to be in the offensive zone, so you force the other team into that situation, but Six Nations maybe got a little too overzealous with that, with that adage of trying to press offensively, and they allowed a pretty easy opportunity for Higgs, who makes no mistake.
Yeah, they did. They had 3 guys caught deep, and weren't in a very good defensive position, and actually had 2 or 3 guys in behind him, and here we go again.
And that ball is stolen right out of the passing lane, and now away goes Huntsville. Gets around the check, and just couldn't steal it around that shoulder again on the opposite side. Just couldn't get back across his body because of the way he got kind of tripped up there as he fired, and that ball will skip out and be off of the netminder and be in favor of Huntsville. I don't think Huntsville knows it yet, so now they get to go back on offense. Now around the top go the white shirts. Higgs down low. Looking for a shooting lane right into the middle, just missed the intended target. As all ball bounces to Kremer. Giving off now to French, who has the first marker of the game. Oren French, that shot blocked, and we'll scoot into the restricted area, and kind of surprised I wasn't called an in and out call, to be honest, but I guess they didn't have possession of it.
He got his feet in, and the ball had not left the cylinder, so.
Now ball being fought for deep in the zone of Six Nations. They now will make their way back out. As Green making his way around. Green looking to fire. Green will fire. It's a good save there by the netminder, who trapped it and just in?
There's back in.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if that was on the white line, Steve. From our angle, it looked just out, but not exactly sure we had the best angle at it.
No, but his feet were outside of the crease. He trapped it inside, then walked in. So, anyways, we're getting a call here.
It's a high stick against Six Nations. So an undisciplined penalty there. Or actually, no, pardon me, it's against Huntsville.
Yeah, no, again, those are tough to take when you're a 1-on-3, 1-on-4, 200 feet from your net. You know, you don't want to give up the battle for loose balls and such, but you don't want to take an inadvertent high stick when there's absolutely no, all your defenders are behind you and there's obviously no threat of being scored upon. So those are tough penalties to take.
That's Hudson Francis taking the minor for Huntsville. As now McNaughton plays that one behind the net, mishandled almost immediately after that, as now McNaughton's got to go back and press. But quickly around the floor goes Huntsville. And away is going to go Oren Prentice. Owen Prentice now 3-on-1 on the PK. Play it back, and I think smartly there, Steve, Huntsville will just say, you know what, we're going to take all 30 seconds of that shot clock and kill this off. And again, had a chance to go towards the net, but no, happy to kill the time there is Aiden Kremer. Now that shot from a mile away will go wide.
Yeah, but they ate up the entire 30 seconds, so a good first possession on the man down for Huntsville.
Six Nations now again. It's Johnson to Johnson. Pass to the other elbow spot. Nice back pass. That shot goes high. Caught, though, somehow by a sprawling Lacrosse club member. That's another good save, another reset. So here comes Six Nations with a couple straight possessions. Colton Johnson, that's a, I believe, good save. Yes, it is a shot clock reset. After a good kill, a good 30-second kill there by Huntsville, it's about 3 or 4 straight possessions here for Six Nations. It's Talon Johnson for Colton Johnson. Play to the elbow spot. That shot, good save. Rebound, skip through the stick. Played across again. Faking. Looking to fire. That one's another good save by Ewan Russell. But again, just can't get away is Tad Martin. Now Johnson. Gives it off there to Davis Jr. and scores! Talon Johnson. I think maybe on the power play, Steve. I'm not sure if the power play had just elapsed.
I think it was still clinging to the PP there. And again, you don't want to give this team opportunities. They did a grand job on their first possession and then never got the ball back. Six Nations kept taking control off the rebound and resetting the shot clock. And they went back on the power play there with a little over a minute 15 to go, and they had possession the entire time.
I think they're giving out a water break, I think. I don't think it's timeout. I think it's a water break.
Yeah, typically when both goalies get the opportunity to come to the bench, it's the referee's time.
And again, it makes sense, Steve, because we've talked about it throughout the week, throughout the day with all the games we've done so far and with a couple games we've got coming up, that the heat is going to be a factor because today it's supposed to be 30. It's supposed to be 30 all week. So the floor is going to get, you assume, slippery with the humidity, and obviously these guys and girls working their tails off on that floor. And we've already seen it throughout the MSL, Senior B and Junior B seasons that sometimes there's certain spots on the floor where it gets a little slippery.
Yep.
As now the face-off will be surprisingly not sent by Six Nations, Triton McNaughton. Actually looks to be Casson Davey. And I will now apologize to any Six Nations fan watching this who I pronounced the name wrong. There's a couple that I look at and go, I know I can't pronounce that right in my Anglican English, so I've decided that I'm not going to try. And there's going to be a call there, I think, for illegal cross-check against Six Nations, so a chance here for the White Shirts to work. Played across the top, that ball missed, and now away for Six Nations. We'll go Theodore Jamieson for, I assume, illegal cross-check. I don't think the clock ever started, Steve. It is still at 4:15.
It is still at 4:15.
I know the great Mark Perry had his clock running, so I know we're right. I just know they're wrong.
We're getting a 55.
It's a
got a
4.
checking from behind, which is an automatic 4, and you don't see it very often. And again, the referee felt it was a little more deserved. Traditionally, they'll give you the illegal cross-check, but
which we already seen today.
Yeah, but this is a great opportunity now
for Huntsville to get 2 and get a lead and tack on to it if they can get a hold of it. That save there. Attempt by Owen Prentice as that ball's fired down.
Yeah, just Six Nations didn't seem like they had any interest in going on transition there and eating up the clock. Obviously, they're going to be short for quite a while, so they're
They also have a rather short bench, you'd say, Steve. Only got you know, the 4 runners on the floor plus it looks to be 7. So maybe 12 runners.
And one in the box there, yeah. You're right, probably 12 runners.
Nice move there by Huntsville. That shot, did it touch him? It does not look like it did. So it'll be possession to Six Nations. So a good chance here for the Lacrosse club to get 30 seconds off of this minor. That ball again just fired by Triton McNaughton. Now again, I'm surprised by the strategy here for Six Nations. Quickly down the floor. Oh, what a shot. What a save, I believe. But the goalie may be injured with the twist. No, it just took him a second to get back up. But again, that ball fired down the middle of the floor, hits the scoreboard, and possession will go back to Huntsville.
That was an outstanding move by the man on the crease, who I didn't catch his number.
That shot again, I believe that is the same player. I believe that is French, Owen French.
And McNaughton just made an incredible save on him. And once again, Huntsville gets a reset here, and a little over 2 minutes left.
Pass in the middle again, shot scores! Owen French gets his second, and it is 5-4 in favor of Huntsville. But Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's 2 minors and the first goal goes in, it doesn't reset to 2, right? Unless because it's the running clock, because the extra 4 seconds was on it. So it was in the first part of the minor, so it should continue.
It will continue. It's just Huntsville might want to line up here for the draw quickly so they don't see this penalty evaporate before their eyes.
And Six Nations almost didn't send somebody to the face-off circle there for a second, so they almost automatically lost the face-off, which is not good on the penalty kill. And it's 1 back by Six Nations, but it looked like 2, a Huntsville player, but Six Nations again will just fire it. So again, I think with the lack of runners there, Steve, they're happy to just kind of fire the ball down the floor.
They're not really showing the Huntsville Hawks a lot of respect here on their power play, and
that shot goes wide.
Although Huntsville has managed to score 2 or 3 on the power play.
And they can still have an opportunity to score another one here with the latter half of this one. Owen French right in the front. That shot, I thought almost handcuffed and beat the netminder, but it doesn't end up going. And again, that ball is just fired by Six Nations. I will mention that Howard Hill is in the net for Six Nations after relieving Cameron McNaughton after the first 2 goals were in by the Hawks. Now it was like 2 minutes into the first period with the rolling clock. That ball fired, scores!
And you're not going to see this very often. Number 19 playing the shooter on the power play. A left-handed shot playing on his wrong side. Takes a shot from the perimeter and sneaks it short side. So,
and that's Jared Allen with the goal.
Yeah, you're not going to see this very often at all. And here he goes, a little bit of a screen perhaps, a well-placed shot, but yeah, that typically you're not going to see 4 lefties out there on the power play at once. So, you know, but nonetheless, they racked up a couple on that power play opportunity and back in command here.
And the second period's about to end, as it will end. 6-4 now in favor of Huntsville. I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, Steve, it's 4 goals in the power play. And Six Nations, with their lack of bench depth in this U15 final here, the Heritage Classic tournament, pardon me, you know, it could be cause for concern for the purple shirts.
Yeah, it looks like they have 12 runners here today, so that is, you know, that's certainly, I think for minor lacrosse, 16 is what you could have, and yeah, those extra legs certainly help when you're in the man down and want to rag the ball and kill off that 30 seconds.
And you see the coaching there, talking to one of the referees from Huntsville. And again, Huntsville really needed that double minor there at the end of that period, Steve, because again, we were deadlocked at 4. Six Nations had dominated on their previous power play to tie it. And then Huntsville gets the double minor, is able to capitalize on both to give themselves the first multi-goal lead of the night. And it's going to be a tall hill to climb now for the purple shirts, that they need not only get 2, but maybe a third one to win it in the third and potentially final period. And again, as we keep speaking about, the 12 runners, I think, is going to be some cause for concern for Six Nations, because again, this tournament is over 3 days. They already played quite a few games, and now you're going into a third period, a third 15-minute frame, and you don't just have the litany of numbers that their counterparts do.
No, and I think the lesson learned here for Huntsville is they're not going to want to give up opportunities to Six Nations on the power play, where they can just settle in, won't have to use their legs, use their skill, and they've shown that they have the ability to put the ball in the net when opportunity arises on the power play. And if they can stay 5-on-5, Huntsville's certainly in a good position here with just one period to go here in this U15 final.
Yep, about 50 seconds left here in the intermission as Six Nations makes their way back to the bench. Should mention, I didn't even see Six Nations in any other pool till the U15 level, and they're in the final. So, again, just showing how powerful the Six Nations pool is in lacrosse. Obviously, they have a junior B team, they have a junior A team, they have a MSL team, they have a senior B team. So they are well represented in the lacrosse community.
They are, and they also operate a senior B team in the First Nations Lacrosse Association, which is predominantly teams in the Buffalo area and down in the Cornwall, Akwesasne area at both the junior B and senior B level. So yeah, there's no shortage of lacrosse in and around the Six Nations, and they're generally competitive, if not at the top of their class. Certainly at the MSL level, they're defending Man Cup champions and undefeated so far this season, and with just a star-studded cast of NLL All-Stars.
And there's a reason why that the Haudenosaunee want to add their own denomination if lacrosse makes its way to the Summer Olympics, and I believe it is 2028, because, the First Nations teams are really good, and they got lots of runners and players and even goalies. As that ball was bounced kind of off the wall, and it might be a chance for Six Nations to go, and they do get away. And just couldn't corral it, and good defensive effort there by Huntsville. And wait a second. And they're going to give they're going to give a unsportsmanlike to Colton Johnson. And I think it's because they wanted Huntsville to be called on the in and out call. They don't get it, and now not only did they not get possession, they get the minor.
And we'll watch on the replay here. He steps in the crease. That was a total blown call by the referee, and he took exception to have that pointed out to him. And
by the way, Six Nations started only with 3 runners on the floor, so they were short on the penalty kill.
Yeah, they were a little discombobulated with during their protest.
That ball played all the way around. Huntsville scored on 4 power plays. That ball gets stopped there in the restricted area, and I assume they're just going to fire it. No, maybe they're going to carry it this time. But they're not going to lose it before they ever get anywhere, as that ball is whacked out, and it will be possession back to Huntsville. Passed across, just can't get there. Fighting for it. That ball being jarred loose a couple of ways. Retrieved there by the white shirts, and Huntsville have a chance here to get something back on target. Higgs spinning around. Higgs gets that ball whacked away, and again, Six Nations this time, Steve, will not just fire it away. They're gonna, they will just fire it away. At least they had a runner that time in the area, and now it will be the runner being able to retrieve it. Go around the net, they're gonna go. Holding it, knowing they don't have to produce any offense just yet. They can kill the rest of this 30-second shot clock, which is down to 10. Played across, played down low now. Gonna fire, good save. Can they get possession back? No, they cannot. And now Hudson Francis for the white shirts. So taking on his defender, now I'll just pass it away. Wide open now down low, passed across, just couldn't get the shot away. And then he loses it. Battling for it there, as now that's gonna be a high sticking going against Six Nations, and Six Nations can't believe it.
And that's another tough call with the player kind of hunched over as the arms were extended, and it slid up his back, but you know, I know that's a tough one to take. Again, not really as much the player's fault that was giving the check as it was the receiving player kind of ducking into it. So we'll see it right here along the boards. It just, you know, bit of a slide. Didn't seem to affect the player at all, but nonetheless, they're looking to protect the players at all times.
I will make sure I mention that was technically a 5-on-3 to start off with. Now it's back to 5-on-4 for 2 minutes or less. As back out comes Colton Johnson. What a pass! Just couldn't get that one to fire. Higgs now. Gave it off. That shot rocketed wide there by French. That ball rocketed loose there by Johnson, but not able to really gain possession of it. Whacked around. Just could pick it up as French. Now away will go Colton Johnson. Johnson's just going to run it. That pass down low, stolen in the middle of the floor, and away is going to go Hudson Francis. Hudson Francis trying to get a chance in transition. Should back behind the back, and that again almost fooled Howard Hill as he thought that one beat him.
Yeah, that was an extremely low percentage shot. When you're on the power play, a 1-on-3, you're just best to settle that one up and wait for your mates to get down. And here we go, giving up transition.
And that's an almost good opportunity there for Six Nations, but a good defensive effort there as that is stopped there by the netminder.
Yeah, Aiden, I'm not sure if it's Aiden Creamer or Aiden Kremer. He does not appear to have much in the way of stick skills yet. He's been incredibly impressive on the defensive end today. He's a hawk on loose balls. He's broken up play countless times, gets back in transition, got great speed, and yeah, he's been a real force, even though he doesn't look pretty out there.
That ball bounced by. They're going to have to fire from a mile away, I think, but wide open there was a player on the back door. Reset now. As that ball is jarred away, 5 minutes gone in this third, potentially final frame. 6-4 still in favor of the Hawks. Is some late whacks here. And again, Six Nations got to be careful because, again, the lack of runners and taking penalties is going to make that fatigue become even more of a problem. As now we're back to 5-on-5, and now away is going to come Six Nations. Calder. Try that again. Colby Dutcher has possession, takes a couple bumps. Dutcher will fire it to Triton McNaughton. McNaughton leans into one. That shot wide. Nope, saved there by the netminder in Ewan Russell.
Yeah, again, you're not seeing a lot of movement off ball from Six Nations at this point, so they're just looking to unload with the big bomb from the outside.
And again, I think that's the fatigue factor for the Lacrosse club. As down goes one of the white shirts. That shot bounced on target, and Huntsville will take it away. Huntsville takes a couple shots here as they make their way down the floor. Trying to make their way all the way around. Hudson Francis now at the very top of the zone. Giving off now. Nice swim there by Kremer. Got whacked at his stick, and it's going to go the other way. Kremer now going to, as you mentioned, play some of that defense that he's been very good at tonight. As he'll now go off. That shot low and saved and goes right into the stands, and now we get the whistle, and it's going to stay with Six Nations. That shot saved there by Russell. Triton McNaughton now getting forced into the boards, so he'll take a screen. McNaughton will fire from a mile away, also goes wide. Now a chance for Huntsville to go. Will they be able to run onto it? They will, but it's going to be 6-on-6 here. That shot just wide. That one taken by Liam Andrews. That ball fish hooked away there by Hudson Francis, and a little bit of a mixture there. As Connor Allaire was also there, but now given away. And now Six Nations with a chance to go. Able to pass it. No, they end up holding on to it and have to go around now. Pass in the middle, just through the stick there of Talon Johnson. Pass into the middle, that shot just wide. Back goes Talon Johnson, who's just going to pop it into the middle. What a pass, that shot, just wide as well. And it should be Huntsville's ball, and it will be Huntsville's ball.
A dangerous opportunity there late in the shot clock. We just couldn't hit the net. But a sharp pass into traffic, and good job on the catch. And here we've given up again in transition for Huntsville.
Yeah, Francis with an errant pass to, again, it's seemingly another easy giveaway, passing it to people that aren't looking at you. As Squire passed that ball off. That ball passed into the middle, misses everybody almost. That shot from a mile away, saved there by Russell on Colton Johnson. Is now Huntsville going the other way. That errant pass just missed a wide open runner, and that would have been Owen French's possibility for a third. Higgs gives it off to Kremer. Sauve low there to French. Trying to whack it away there from Johnson, and the whistle's going to go there for the shot clock. Now Triton McNaughton will run up the floor. And wait a second, there's a minor. Is it too many men? It is, I think.
Unless there was an infraction on the...
It's interference, actually.
Yeah.
On Owen French.
Little collision in the change box area, and that'll result in a 2-minute minor.
And this is a good chance for Six Nations, Steve, to get themselves a goal to get them get them within one, because they've been very potent on the power play.
Yeah, again, that's the kind of penalty that's going to really frustrate coaching staffs when a player takes a penalty this late in the game, when you seem to have everything in hand, and Six Nations not being able to generate a lot of offense 5-on-5.
Triton McNaughton, that shot, scores! They thought he stepped in, the referees disagree, and Triton McNaughton makes it 6-5.
Well, from some of the crease calls we've seen called earlier today, that one certainly appeared that he was well in the crease.
And everybody's barking at the referees here. We'll get a chance to see it on the replay to see if it happened to go. And yeah, he touched the white paint, Steve.
Yeah.
And they're going to do, I think, a little drink here for the goalies. And everybody in the building, Steve, can see the replays, so obviously the referees can't use them. But, you know, that's definitely going to add some ire, I'd say, for the white shirts.
Well, again, they took a penalty that was unnecessary. Not only that, they also left the crease man totally unmarked there, and it was an easy challenge to the net for him, and he made no mistake. And there's a player that's already scored 2 this afternoon. You want to play, keep everybody in front of you. Don't let anybody underneath you and get that kind of body position on the goaltender. So you don't want to be taking any penalties if you're the Hawks with 4:41 to go.
Now the clock does stop on the timeout. It will stop. Once we hit the 3-minute mark, it will become stop time, meaning that when they have a stoppage in play, the whistle goes, it will be stopped. It will not continue to run. So again, Six Nations, with that power play marker, puts themselves in a great opportunity to be able to force overtime. As now McNaughton again will go back to the face-off circle against Liam Andrews. Face-off won by Six Nations, and here they come. We'll also mention that Six Nations has the face-off stick that I saw Trent McNaughton hand back, as McNaughton will make a run. That shot just wide, but another whistle's going to go. And it's a slash, I assume, going against Huntsville. So immediately out of the timeout, they do exactly what you said they can't do.
No, this is just, again, you gotta, pay, just be disciplined in these situations. I know these are 13, 14-year-old kids, And sometimes the emotion gets the better of them, as it does older teenagers and young and old adults alike. But this could have devastating results here for teams just looking to win the championship.
Against a short man Six Nations team. That ball played into the middle. That shot scores! Sprawling Kaysen Davey makes it 6-6 with another power play marker. And Steve, I'm going to say, I think both these two teams have 4 of their 6 markers all on the power play.
Yeah, and that we'll see now with 4:08 to see if they can both maintain their composure and stay out of the box. Because again, real nice little play, just sneaks into the middle of the zone, pays a bit of the price as he releases the ball, but you know, you're going to want to shut that off before a player can get to that point.
And the timeout is taken here by Huntsville with 4:08 left in this third, potentially final period.
And I can understand the coaching staff being frustrated at this point, but in a tie game, you might want to hold on to that timeout so later in the game where you might be able to write up a play in the last minute or something.
And pull the netminder,
and get the goalie in a 6-out-of-5 position. Now you don't have that opportunity. So now it's going to be more helter-skelter when it comes to those situations, because you got to do all the planning on the fly.
And again, I will mention something, Steve, that we've talked about a lot. The Six Nations netminders, both McNaughton, who got pulled in the first 2 minutes, and his reliever in Howard Hill, you know, have not been, I'd say, impressive tonight. That's no offense to Hill, but normally speaking, when you think about the Six Nations, they have great goalies. The junior B team has a great goalie, Mason Jacobs. The senior B team has a great goalie, and I believe Warren Hill is the MSL goalie. And Warren Hill, if I'm not mistaken, plays in the NLL.
Yeah, you got Warren Hill and Dougie Jamieson, who are both starters in the NLL, and Dougie played for Albany and went from the last place team in 2023 to backstop the Albany Firewolves into the NLL championship this year. So he's certainly he's been a champion at the junior A level, and now carrying on it at the MSL and the NLL.
As Huntsville now maybe a little bit discombobulated. They just seemingly can't even complete a pass now that Six Nations has tied this game with those late 2 markers on the power play. That ball passed down, thought about firing, doesn't yet. Passed across, Triton McNaughton, good save there by Russell. And that's going to get forced in, and he's sandwiched between 2 different purple shirts. Can they get him free? Looks like the answer to that's no. They just created a sandwich, and he was not getting away. And now the whistle's going to go, and they're going to say in and out.
Yeah, Aiden Creamer, who's had an outstanding defensive game today, had a bit of a faux pas there, and trying to collect the loose ball. Skipped through his own crease to do so, and again, that's back in. And Huntsville is now taking another penalty.
And that is maybe your recipe for disaster here, as that ball passed across, misses everybody, and the whistle will now go, as it is a high sticking call, and it looks to be going, as you mentioned, against Huntsville.
Yeah, and I think
the recipient looks to be, I assume, Liam Andrews for the second straight time. No, actually, pardon me.
Higgs, I think.
Looks to be Braden Higgs, which is not only is Braden Higgs taking a minor in the last 3 minutes of this game, it's also arguably your best player.
Yeah, he's had a couple goals here this afternoon and has that big shot.
Played around the top. I see some of the U17 guys getting ready for their game that's coming up after this one at the Heritage Classic tournament here in Owen Sound. That shot low, goes rocketing wide. Rebound came hot off the Bayshore bounce, but ended up missing just about everybody as it's just fired down by Huntsville. So Huntsville doing a little bit of the Six Nations strategy on the double minor that happened late in the second period.
Yeah, again, you don't want to ever give up possession of the ball. They seem to be discombobulated on the transition effort there.
Johnson played around now. That shot low, block before it ever gets near the netminder. Played it into the middle. That shot, good save. by Russell. Quickly up the floor come the white shirts. Right around they come. Trying to make their way through. That may be a hold. It is a hold. And Colton Johnson has made it 4-on-4. And Steve, we've talked about obvious penalties. That was kind of obvious. Wrapping the hand around. And as you would say, Steve, because I know you're going to say it when I mention it, undisciplined and unnecessary. He has them. And then right there, he wraps the other arm around him and makes it a little too easy for the guys in black.
And at that point, the ball carrier had dropped the ball, so he was again in no threat. And they're gonna get to go on the power play at least here with a minute to go. They'll play some 4-on-4 now and a little bit more space.
You saw there a little smile from Colton Johnson. Saw the camera at the great Mark Perry sets up there in the penalty box, flashing those pearly whites. That ball played down to right around the goal line. Nice move there. Shot in! Scores! Huntsville 4-on-4 makes it 7-6 with 1:22 left in the third period and 22 seconds left in the 4-on-4.
Yeah, that was a real nice individual effort because the shot clock was winding down. And again, defenders never want to get beat underneath. And Six Nations goaltender kind of bit to the far side, left a lot there open on the short side, and he made no mistake.
Hudson Francis with his first goal of the night, maybe the biggest one of his season, as a face-off violation against Francis will now give a free possession back to Six Nations, who need to strike on this 4-on-4 or they may not get a chance, but now stolen away immediately. Huntsville chasing down, 1-on-1, make that 1-on-2, just could not fire. There was the guy who just got the marker and just got the violation in Francis. But now quickly up the floor comes Six Nations. The penalty about to be released. It will now be 5-on-4. You gotta wonder if they may pull the goalie here. That shot just wide. Rockets right by everybody. Picked up here by Huntsville. They're now gonna go the other way. It's 2-on-2 the other way. Higgs shot scores! Brayden Higgs with the hat trick may have just iced it for the Huntsville Hawks in the U15 final.
Yeah, and again, this penalties have really hurt both teams today, and Six Nations has paid the price here late in the game.
And again, and Higgs, who just got released from a minor, is able to score the insurance marker and what may be the final nail in the Six Nations coffin here at the Heritage Classic
it's
tournament.
Such a turn of events here. Six Nations on the power play in a 6-6 game, takes the penalty deep in their end, trying to defend transition. And not only do they get scored on 4-on-4, then they give up the shorthanded effort. So
that shot. Save, no. Oh, I thought that one snuck through it. No, it was a great save there and spun around, but there's the in and out call.
Yeah, another back in.
Oh, and they're yelling at the netminder to come in, and he is going to come in, so it'll be 5-on-5, or pardon me, 6-on-5. That shot, good save. Ball rolling around, and another in and out call. So now 6-on-5 for the last 20 seconds here. That shot low, missed there by Colton Johnson. Huntsville now have a chance to run, and around they're gonna go, and they may get a chance to fire on the empty net. Right around, here they come. And Huntsville will score into the empty cage. Will Alex Kremer, who, as you mentioned, had a great defensive performance, and is that goal to make it 9-6 in the empty net, maybe the icing on top of the defensive cake.
That is the cherry on top of the whipped cream, on top of the icing, I'm afraid, for Six Nations at this point. And yeah, Kremer, he has been outstanding all day. Again, not a guy with super silky paws, but he's got great athletic ability, really good defender, and nose for the loose ball. And there you go, he picked one up and managed to deposit in the empty net.
And that is Huntsville winning the U15 final 9-6. And what a game for Huntsville to win it 9-6 over Six Nations. And Steve, again, 6-6 tie just moments ago. And then a penalty to one of the better players for Six Nations, and Colton Johnson is what seals their fate in the U15 final. Yeah,
and again, we remarked, I think, often how power plays are an important aspect of today's game. And, you know, it ended up being what kind of killed Six Nations, and being on the power play late in the game, giving up that shorthand or a penalty in transition. They go 4-on-4, they give up the goal, and then they give up a power play goal right after that, and you know, they get buried from just some tough, timely penalties that didn't work out for them.
Well, that'll be it here for us for the U15 final. One last game going on in the Heritage Classic tournament, the U17 final with Owen Sound, the North Stars, their last performance in. They're 2 for 2 on the day. We'll see if they can go 3 for 3 in the U17 final. But for Steve McCarthy and myself, Spencer Byers, and of course, the great Mark Perry in the control room, thank you so much for tuning in to the Heritage Classic tournament in memory of Tyson Downs here on Rogers TV.